what value, because I understand the money component, but when you're seeking out an investor, because I'm sure someone like yourself, I'm sure you're not just, you didn't just accept investors just because they just have money.
In the early days, you kind of just have to accept whatever you can get. But thankfully, we got some good ones. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. That's cool. All right. Oh man, that's good. I'm actually happy we started talking about this. But at some point, you do start being a bit more strategic about who you want as an investor.
Yes.
Based on other value. Yeah, you want the money, but the value that they bring beyond that.
Yes. And so to answer your question about like, should you get funding or not? If you're going to traditional venture capital investors, they're expecting you to be at least $1 billion business. So you can't go
in concept, but not in profits. Profit?
Well, $1 billion company means in valuation.
Oh, the valuation. Okay.
So, if you count that 10 times the annual revenue, then you need to have like 100 million in annual revenue.
Okay.
So you need to like really believe that you can actually get there and that you're like working towards that in order to convince investors to actually invest in you. Mm-hmm. If you're like, oh, this is, we'll get to 100K ARR or whatever, and like, then we'll be good. Like VCs are going to be like, no, So you have to be really willing to sign up for that and like really give it your all to get investment. On the other hand, so there is sort of a middle ground, which is getting into Y Combinator.
Yeah.
So Y Combinator is a startup accelerator. They give you $500,000 in funding in exchange for 7% of your company.
Okay.
Plus a certain percent of your next round, which is too hard to explain here how that works.
Yeah.
But it's a 3-month training program, and you have these partners that you work with weekly to like see where you're on track. So you let them know what your goals are at the end. They help keep you accountable. They sort of have this training program of stuff to read, learning about sales and marketing and hiring and all those sort of things.
Okay, so it's like a real, because I saw that you had completed the Y Combinator school, and so it's like it's basically like a training for a founder in a way.
Yes,
that's cool. I didn't know that's what they did with that.
That was super helpful, and that's actually how we got our first funding. Like we spent 3 months trying to raise funding, and we're not getting anywhere. And we ended up happening to get into YC. So you have to apply. So make sure to apply, even if you don't think you can get in, because we didn't think so, but we got in.
Y'all check out Y Combinator. It's really dope.
Yeah. So we got in, and then within a week, we'd raised $1 million. So when raising money from investors, you either need like to be work at a FANG company, like Facebook, Microsoft, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like go to a prestigious school. Or have some kind of previous founder or something. If you don't, it's really hard to get funding. Like you have to work really hard. And so YC was like that stamp of approval for us because we didn't have any of those other.
Yeah, because I'm listening. I'm like, I'm listening to all the things you're listening. I'm like, I didn't hear any time during this conversation you had any of those pieces.
Yeah. So cool. YC is awesome because they're less risk adverse than a single investor who's putting in like $3 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Because YC is only putting in $500K, and they're investing in 130 companies every batch, so twice a year. Mm-hmm. And so they're like very diversified.
Yeah.
And so
I've seen the list of companies they have on there. It's extremely diverse. It's a huge diverse group of companies.
So it can be easier to get funding that way because even if you don't have a product, we didn't have a product before we raised funding, which was part of the thing that made it hard. And the other thing is they don't push you to raise more money afterwards. So if you're someone that is like not ready to sign up for the $1 billion company and like really go after like the real hardcore VCs, still try to get into YC.
Yeah.
I would recommend, because that's $500K. You get the training program, and then you could bootstrap the rest of the way.
Man, that's incredible. Especially that training. I'm sure that training was pretty valuable.
Yes. As a first-time founder, first time raising funding, first time like doing this more ambitious tech startup, it was extremely helpful.
That's really good because, of course, some people, I have just a crap ton of friends that have went to school. They went to business school, and it's like, no shade to anyone who went to business school, but I'm sure most people that went to college for business could say like they didn't really learn much about like starting a business aside from like the legalities and the paperwork and things that go into it. And so, but Man, that's cool. But like, Y Combinator School sounds like something that really, y'all, this is not a pitch. I'm not pitching this to y'all. Nevertheless, of course, we're just giving valuable information. And so, but you got me thinking like, man, that would be a lot of value in doing something like that. Even just for can someone do the Y Combinator School without the 7%?
No, you have to give up that 7%.
Okay, cool. And I'm not against doing that, but just in my head, I was trying to see if they had like other options and stuff. So that's really dope.
You know, and one thing I find consistently, anytime you're going to like give up percentage to like an investor or accelerator, it's always like at the beginning, everybody's like, you know, squeezing their knuckles like, oh, do I really want to give up that 7%? But like after it's done, like nobody ever regrets it.
Yeah.
Like it's like that multiplication thing I talked about.